everybody. This is Morten from Inkish. Today I have a rather unusual story, but unfortunately something I guess too many people in the industry have experienced over the years. I'm here with Louis Evans from Vivid Lamination from the UK, who has been, I think, very much followed and seen on LinkedIn the past days because a Chinese company were illegally using some of the technology and have even acknowledged that it was an illegal use of a patent. So, Louis, welcome here on English.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for covering the story. It's appreciated.
I think it's a very important topic, and that was also why I reached out to you the moment I saw your video. As a company, I mean, Vivid, you have experience in producing technology for at least a little bit more than 2 decades. But are you also, when it comes to like handling patents and things like that, is that something that you have experience with?
Yeah, so at Vivid Technologies, we have been dealing with patents and IP and our own R&D for around 21 years, a little bit more. We have got over 20 patents with others on the way. So we do have some experience. We have found in our experience that we do need to have those in place. Otherwise, you will get copied. And we do feel there's got to be a value in our industry, in the print industry, wide format industry, that if you come up with your own unique idea, you need some protection.
Yeah, because I mean, eventually, if ideas can be stolen without consequences, the businesses that are innovative will basically disappear, right?
Yeah, and it is a problem, but it's something that we take really seriously. We put a lot of time and effort in. There's a lot of cost goes into our ideas and turning them from an idea in your mind into something that's real, tangible, and that benefits the customer. So yeah, we try and be nice at the beginning and say, look, hey, that's our idea. But unfortunately, on this occasion, we tried that last year, and it finally came to a head at FESPA this week, where we had to take it a little bit more serious.
I was wondering because I mean we agreed that we don't talk specifically about the patents because basically if we end up serving more people actually getting inspiration from your ideas, we have not served the purpose of this interview. But I was just wondering when you let's say that you come to a trade show, it could be drupa, for example, and you walk around and you see something where you just start thinking about, whoa, that is my idea. That is something that we have. I mean, how was the reaction for you? How did you experience the first time that you saw that that this Chinese company has simply stolen an idea from you?
So that was around a year ago. I had a very good idea. My colleague Gavin Ward and Tia, we had a good idea that our idea may be shown at FESPA in Germany. Of course, weren't 100% sure until we got there to see it for ourselves, but I had a good idea that this would be shown at FESPA. So before the show started, we got in touch with very, very good German lawyer, German bailiffs, and we had everything in place for when we arrived.
But I was also thinking before, because I mean, at some point you have got information or seen yourself that somebody was infringing on your patent. So how did you get that information? How far away is it that you got information that there was a potential threat to you?
We noticed it online around a year ago that some advertisement were done, which was a blatant copy of our idea, our product, our design, our piece of equipment, and yeah, it hurts. It's shocking initially, but you soon come to terms with it. I've been doing this for over 20 years, so it's not the first time I've seen it. I wouldn't say we want to expect it, but yeah, it's annoying. It makes you feel angry, and you know that there's going to be a cost and a lot of time involved to now put a stop to it. So it's a headache, but it's one worth going through. So anyone who's got their own IP and patents, I would advise to protect it at all cost.
I mean, if it had been a neighbor next to you in the UK, sometimes it would be much easier to handle these kind of things because you can drive there, you can talk, you have the same legislation, things like that. How difficult is it that when you meet somebody from the other side of the planet that are they have maybe different values, they have different legal systems, they have different views on patents in general? What I mean,
Yeah.
how do you at all even get into this? I guess it's not so easy, right?
Yeah, I think we're all humans at the end of the day, so the first point of call, no matter where anybody's from in the part of the world. And over in Asia and China, we've had and we still have some fantastic and strong relationships with some great companies that respect and appreciate our ideas over there. So certainly not to isolate that part of the world, because we have some great relationships for 30 years or more, still to this day.
Mm,
But yeah, I think from a human to human level is where you start, no matter where the company is from. And so we did that last year and had a
mm-hmm,
nice friendly chat and came to a verbal agreement that they would
mm-hmm,
disband of our idea and stop using it. And they acknowledged that it was our idea and they would stop doing it.
mm-hmm,
And that was how we left it at Drupa last year. So it went quiet for a few months. We tried the nice way, and
mm-hmm,
then we realised that the nice way wasn't going to work. So we had to take it, which was the only other option left was to go legal.
mm-hmm. And when you decide to go legal, I mean, is it? I mean, under which jurisdiction are you actually suing? Because obviously it's a British based patent, of course, right? But I mean, do you have to take people to court in China, or can you do it in Europe, or are they just obligated to show up if you present a court case here in Europe?
Yeah. So, for example, if you're not at before FESPA, say this said company sold this item to another company, the other company, wherever they received it from in the world, they are then under patents because that company is them, even though they've not copied the idea, they've bought the idea and are making money from our idea, they are then
Mm,
liable. And there's a lot of
mm,
people don't realise that, which is what we found. They sold one to a company in Europe, and we went and spoke to them, and they said, "Hey, I just bought it. I didn't copy your idea. I just bought the idea off
mm,
somebody." And they said, "It doesn't matter. You're now making money off our idea. You're now liable." And that's what a lot of
mm,
people don't realise about patents and how they
mm.
work.
Yeah.
It's not just the company that's copied the idea; it's the companies that buy the idea as well. They are all
Mm,
liable. So jurisdiction-wise, on this occasion, it was Germany. The
mm,
patent covers Europe. So
mm.
FESPA was in Berlin. So we had German authorities.
Okay, so that basically means, just for everybody to understand, that you should be cautious when you buy products because you can, without any intention, become part of a legal matter in case you are infringing some patents. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
And if you're making money on that item, you can then be liable for costs and
mm,
damages as well to the owner of the idea. So
mm.
yeah, it's
It,
just always worth checking.
yeah, it reminds me a little bit because I wrote an article before Drupa because there's this the your original CE logo that you use for safety on work, and then they have made almost an exact copy of the Chinese export that looks similar to it, and I think there's a lot of people that don't understand that if you violate, let's say, the European legislation when it comes to safety precautions, basically the buyers, even the exhibition place, can be held liable. So what we're talking about here about infringements in patents and eventually other things that are also legally required when you come and trade in the European market can have enormous consequences. So maybe you think, oh, I save a few $100,000 on this acquisition, but the cost of that saving could be enormous, right?
Yeah, yeah, it could, and that's the risk. I think from speaking with the lawyer in Germany, it's all over the world. It's quite
Mm,
common practice for people to steal ideas off other people and then exhibit them as their own in other countries. So
mm.
we were surprised at how quickly everything was put in place before our arrival at FESPA, legality wise.
Okay.
So much so, the lawyer's office, I think, was literally 5 minutes down the road from the Mesa.
Wow.
Um,
Wow.
and he knew exactly what he was doing upon arrival. He was absolutely fantastic in helping us sort it out. I was really impressed.
Have you heard from competitors and colleagues in the industry about similar cases like this, or do you feel that Vivid Technology is a little bit unique in this situation? Or
I feel that we're unique as a family-run business that's growing, that's just full of ideas. We know of lots of other companies, a lot of printer manufacturers. They have regular, I think, disputes around IP and patents and infringement on each other's ideas. I know that, a couple going on at the moment. These things happen. It's the way of the world. Sometimes you can accidentally copy an idea, but on this case, for me and the company here at Vivid Technologies, this idea was a blatant copy.
I get that. Louis, I was just thinking about, as we spoke about, for the PSPs and the people that are investing in technology today, it can be quite difficult to actually test and check which patents that might be infringed in a product they buy. Is there any simple way of securing yourself in this way? Do you know about that?
Not so much. I mean, having that relationship with a company that you can trust, quite likely not to then be infringing on people's patents and ideas intentionally by copying them and making them for themselves. I think it's all about relationships and trust, and everybody working with good, ethical, honest companies. We work with some fantastic companies for our products all over the world, China included. So it's been a little while since we challenged one of our patents. It's been a few years. It has happened before. And so here we are now on this one.
And now moving forward, basically you got a letter saying that they acknowledge that they have infringed your patent. Does that mean now that they will be sued for, let's say, the damages? Because basically you have potentially lost sales, right?
Yeah. So any items that have been purchased, then we will need to look at collections, and we will do that. It's so important because we have other patents pending coming up, patents and ideas that we're working on that are fantastic for the industry. We want everybody to be able to have them, and it's really important that we protect ourselves. So I think there's some discussions around that. I wouldn't want to disclose the amounts, but they're significant.
So that will actually, because the reason why you don't have to disclose any amount, of course, I was just thinking that the amount should be high enough, so that should be like a warning both to that company specific, but also to other companies that it is not worth doing these illegal activities, right?
Yeah, that's correct. And the thing is, when you do something like this, the amounts can be quite high. It all depends on how far down the road with copying the idea. If you've sold lots of them, you're probably going to have to pay for every one that you've sold back to the company whose idea it was. So if you've sold maybe 20, 30, 40 units at, say, £5,000 or £10,000, you have to pay all that back. You have to that money then is billed to the company whose idea it was, because that's where the sales would have gone in the first place. So it can be quite costly. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Louis, what are the next steps now? It's in the legal hands, and I hope that you can go back and do something more positive things about developing new products and turn out great ideas for the industry and for your company, of course. So is that like? Is this chapter kind of closed now and you can move forward? I know there's like the lawyers can handle all the other things, but I'm just like, you personally and the company, can you move forward from this case now?
Most certainly, we hope so. Yeah. Who knows what another company's going to do with their actions next? All we can do is control what we do and run a business in an honest, honourable way, and try and serve our industry in the best way we can. We'll focus on some more ideas we have coming. This chapter, to be fair to the company, on Wednesday, they immediately responded to the lawyer's documents, and they removed the item was removed by the FESPA, I believe, off the stand. I
Okay.
checked myself on the Thursday, and they complied straight away. Shows one the level of guilt, but also the fact that they were happy to comply immediately with no resist enables us to just move on from this, and we look forward to exhibiting at FESPA Barcelona 2026 with some new products as well. But it was a really important, not just for Vivid, but for anybody working on their own ideas. This was a really important result.
And it made that FESPA visit a little bit different than the normal ones, right?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it made it a lot more interesting. Not one we've experienced before, but the get up at 3 a.m. to fly from Manchester Airport was worth it in the end.
And you can sleep when you get old, right?
Yeah. I was a bit tired, but it was worth it. And happy with the outcome. Grateful to the company that they complied straight away, although with a mixed feeling of anger.
Of course.
As well. Yeah, seeing your idea there on the stand is frustrating and annoying, and something that I think many companies have also experienced. We're not on our own in this, especially in our industry.
I think I know exactly what you say. I know that you and I have not spoken before, but I think that when we started Inkish, it was also like we tried to do something new. And then, of course, you can say an interview format or film format or webinar format is not, of course, not the same as when you have developed technology where you invest a lot of more money into it.
Yeah,
But I totally get this emotional feeling when you have and you see somebody is copying you basically, right? And then it's just like, damn it. But I must also say that from a media perspective, it gives you a little energy to say, okay, we must just do something that is even better. And that is,
yeah.
of course, also some of the energy that you can get from experience something that you at least don't die from, right?
Yeah,
So,
and the other thing is that if people are copying your ideas, then they're obviously good ideas as well. So you're thinking,
that's true. Yeah.
we're obviously doing something good here, but people don't realise is how much it costs to actually get a patent. It's
Yeah.
tens and tens of thousands of pounds just to obtain a patent before you've even made any money or profit from the sales of your idea. It
Yeah.
costs so much money in R&D, IP patents to do. So to be copied is then a real problem because you've already invested so much time, effort, and money into this idea. You then need to be able to sell them and make money from them and stuff, and not have it copied.
And that is the very reason why we have a patent system, is to protect innovation and be sure that the people that are innovative and invest time and money in products can get that return before a patent expire for the same reason, right? So otherwise, as I said in the beginning, innovation will die if we can't protect the ideas, right? So
Yeah.
Louis, thank you very much for telling your story here on Inkish. I am very pleased that I have met you, and I am very, very pleased that it seems that the infringement will stop, but also that they have acknowledged, which should make legal for the damages maybe hopefully turn out a little bit easier rather than should go through too many court meetings of guilt. But that is great. So thank you, sir, and have a nice weekend when you get to it.
Yeah, thank you for having me on, and thank you for covering our story. It was appreciated that you picked it up.
Of course. Thank you, and bye.
Thank you. Bye.